Hello, I'm Dr. Sue Morter from Morter Institute, bridging science, spirit, and human possibility. For over 30 years, I've been teaching healthcare practitioners, patients, and students integrative approaches to wellness based in quantum science and energy medicine. What we need to learn to do is to trust the body. The mind needs to learn how to trust the body because the body doesn't lie. The body is constantly revealing things that the mind can't even perceive because the mind is so distracted trying to figure out what we should do next that it fails to pay attention to its true best friend that anchors it and grounds it and gives it clarity. When we bring the mind's attention onto the body, the mind can begin to filter information more accurately. We have access to deep wisdom. We have access to our truth. And we begin to cultivate the power to do something about what we know to be true. Prior to that, what happens is we have a knot in our stomach and we think that it's indigestion. We think that the burning in our belly has something to do with us needing to take some kind of antacid to cover up the discomfort that we're feeling. When in reality, if we could bring the mind onto this area of the body and begin to breathe in such a way that the mind and the body and this particular area of the body and the aspects of our own consciousness that are represented there start to merge together. They start to bond together again and pick up enough momentum and enough power to make a difference in our lives, to allow us to walk with certainty, to stand in life with clarity, and to speak our truth authentically. When there's a knot in your stomach, there's a reason for it. It's not something to cover up or to try to push away or to try to get away from. Rather, it is an attempt of energy trying to rise all the way up to your consciousness that allows you to know that what you're doing is working for you or is not working for you. That allows you to know that that contract you're about to sign is the right thing to do or not. It allows you to know if you should accept the invitation or if you should decline with grace. It allows you to know that, yes, in fact, you do need to speak into what you're feeling and not let it go untapped. Because that wisdom that is rising is a deep truth, and that deep truth will set you free. And so it creates a knot in your stomach because there isn't enough circuitry in place for that energy to rise up through to make it all the way to your awareness. And so instead, it hits upon a wall, and on that wall, it starts to build. And that building is what we perceive as the knot in the stomach. It started perhaps many years ago when you're 3 years old. Something as old as that can start a pattern in your life that keeps you not accessing this deep truth. You're 3 years old, you're exploring your independence, you want to run across the street to play with the kids and the bright, shiny objects, and you step into the street to get over to them, and your mom screams from the front porch, and you get in trouble for accessing your independence, for exploring your own individual personhood. And in that moment, something gets registered at the subconscious level that says every time you start to step into your own personhood, your own individuality, you're likely to get in trouble. This information is recorded at the subconscious level. And so from then on, every time we begin to step into such things, we abort the mission, we step aside, we shut down because subconsciously we just don't want to get in trouble again. It's hard to believe that 30 years later, something like that could be having such an impact in our lives. However, if we never built the circuitry for it to be safe, then the subconscious, whose job it is to keep us safe, will automatically assume uncharted territory, stay behind, step back. And so the circuits never get built to move that deep desire all the way up here to manifestation, to fruition. And so we end up with a knot in our stomach because energy has blocked there and it is no longer flowing. We must learn to let that energy flow again. We have to bring our attention to the knot and squeeze it back and let it know that contact has been made, that the mind is finally paying attention to the deep wisdom that the body is attempting to reveal. And when they come together, we squeeze and we take a breath up through that central channel. In that moment, what begins to happen is the energy begins to break free that was knotted up, balled up in that area. We start to build the circuits that never got built, perhaps even 30 years ago. And as we build that circuitry, our deep wisdom, our deep power starts to rise. With it comes all the fears and concerns and hesitations that we've built up for those 30 years, and they just are set free. This is what we do with the Energy Codes coursework that I teach at the Morter Institute, and it is why people are changing their lives all the time, every day, simply by leaning in to the very parts of their own system instead of trying to push it away or take something to cover up the signal that the deep wisdom is trying to reveal to the mind. I hope these tips have been helpful for you, and the next time you have a knot in your stomach, let it be an invitation for you to build a greater sense of your own personal identity, and hopefully now you know how to do that. If you'd like to learn more about how to do that, visit us at Morter Institute by connecting at drsuemorter.com.